Friends, I had the privilege of listening to 5 good, very good papers, and I congratulate all the 5 people who have presented the paper in this session. Now, there is one old Sanskrit saying I want to bring to your notice, ascribed, I think it is called as Puranamityeva na sadhu sarvam na chapi kavyam navamityavadyam santa pariksha anyatarasmin bhajante. Just because something is old, it does not mean it is very great. Just because one is new, it does not mean it should be condemned. Great men, learned men, will evaluate which is good and bad and take the good. That is the old saying. So there is no need to be happy when we say it is very old, and not very happy when we say it is very recent. So chronology, we are more interested in saying that it's old, very old, and more old, and so on. It's not necessary. What we are interested in chronology is a framework to understand the society and the development of knowledge through the ages. That's all. So it's something like a screen for a painting. And it may be a few years this side or this side. We always had the problem with the scientific dating of carbon-14 dating. When we have about 1,000-year-old with the help of carbon, they say plus or minus 50. They don't say accurately this is that. We always say 50 this side or that side. You go further back, they will say plus or minus 100. And still you go to 10,000, they will say plus or minus 250, something like that. So it's not a very accurate thing that we are looking for. But let us not forget, there are hundreds of inscriptions. Not even 100. There are thousands of inscriptions which gave accurate date, Pancha Anga, Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, Yoga, and Karana. And these are given in registered document. What are the registered documents? Are the inscriptions. All the inscriptions found on the walls of the temples, on hero stones, on other ducts, water ducts, and so on, and also on copper plates as the Rajasasana, you find this Titivara, Nakshatra, etc. Though in some part it may be abbreviated into only Titivara and Nakshatra. So that gives us very accurate dating, including astronomical calculations, so that we are able to calculate what is the accurate date and time when the gift was made to an institution. So the study of inscription is very, very important for the study of chronology. And what are these inscriptions? These inscriptions are called in ancient Dharma Shastras as written evidence, Lekhya Pramana. So we need Lekhya Pramana to study our society, its progress, its idea, how it developed, and so on. We have some great archaeologists. There was one great archaeologist, Sir Mortimer Wheeler. He came and he was in charge of the Archaeological Survey of India, and he excavated some portion at Mohenjo-daro, and he was a dramatic archaeologist. He found some skeletons, group of skeletons in one place, and said, the Aryas invaded and killed all the people of the Harappans. Complete destruction of this local civilization. And so the Harappan civilization was destroyed. And immediately all our school books, I think till very recent time, all the college books, even now, they say the Aryans came, destroyed the Harappan civilization. And immediately our friends in Tamil Nadu, they jumped and they said, oh, Dravidians were the Harappans. Harappans were the Dravidians. The Aryans have destroyed the Dravidians. So they built up a philosophy on the basis of it. But what is more important is, within 10 years, he said the total Harappan civilization has been destroyed. But within 10 years, more than 1,000 sites have been found in the same area, coming right up to Delhi. And Mortimer Wheeler was shown totally useless, valueless idea, which we are still thinking of. So the Harappan civilization, a big civilization, we are all interested in telling this Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization has got written pictographic script on the seals, more than 3,500 seals, but nobody has been able to study it, read it. It is there. Writing is there. So when they say there is no writing before Ashoka, they are wrong. Scientifically, they are wrong. Writing is there, but we are not able to read it. So, so long as we do not have bilingual writing of the Harappans, all dates given are all speculation. Then we have one scientific tool, what they call carbon-14 dating. So carbon-14 dating has its own limitations. The place where it is found, the surrounding areas, contaminating situation, handling, and then the machine. All these are all likely to give sometimes wrong information, wrong dating. So just because one dating, carbon-14 dating has been found, it does not mean that it is foolproof date. There are many places where we do that. That's not the method of calculating. We need verifiable more than one or two. Other places, extremely different. And why I am saying is because in chronological thing, we have some recent attempts, world attempts, recent attempts. They have tried to find some graffiti on the excavated potsherds, and they say it is very close to Harappan's graffiti. So that has been found in Tamil Nadu. So they assume that this is Harappan. Even without in archaeological context, it's not only scratch of one or two, it is the totality. We have not got any pottery of the Harappan in southern part of India. We don't have the paintings in southern part of India. We don't have the weights that have been found in church that have been found in southern India. We don't have the burial customs, extended burial customs as at Kalibanga in South India. So nothing of that cultural group has been found in South India. One scratch, pottery scratch, they immediately jump and say, oh, our culture, Tamil culture is the Harappan culture, Dravidian culture, and the northern Asia have destroyed. This is absolutely unscientific method in chronological one. Then we have now professors in many universities, very influential, just as our Poland, yes, Sheldon Pollack. He is professor. He has got influence over many students. He can give you fellowship. And just as they write books, we also, our professors, they all come in. If there are any professors, don't take me, mistake me, but we know how we appoint them and so on. So they write. And we have a professor who has now found that some scratches in the pottery, it has been, I have found, Brahmi inscription is not found only in Ashoka, it is 400-500 years before Ashoka, 8th century BC. Now these are not scientific methods. We are not interested in all these speculations. Archaeology is a science. We cannot reduce it to speculation. So, all these cannot be accepted. That's why I said, Purana mityeva nasadu sarvam. Then, friends, but there have been very good paper. The second first paper or second paper, which gave a lot of data, comparative data, very important. That we have to now compare it, see each and every subject intake, and what is the available data available, and see, go into other regional languages. I got a lot of information, and I think we are planning to have one seminar on regional language contribution to totality of Indian culture, maybe sometime 6 or 7 months later. We don't know the exact time. That has to be done. So that data by the two enthusiastic Megha and her colleague. Yes. A good paper, congratulations. And then, but of course, this what you call astronomical data on Mahabharata, we have very serious problems with it. For example, I'll take only 2 minutes now. For example, in Tamil literature, ancient Tamil literature, Sangam literature, it refers to the Chera king, the Pandya king, and also remote Chola king, who claim that one of their ancestors, who could be dated with the help of other evidences, they participated in Mahabharata war. If they have participated really in Mahabharata war, we cannot take it to such an early date as 11,500 BC. Second, there is a written reference to it in Aihole, where its calculation comes to 3,101 BC. 3,101 BC as the Kali era is not that is found only in that inscription. We have hundreds of inscriptions here where Kali era is mentioned, and that agrees with what has been found in Aihole inscription of 3001 BC. That's not only Kali era, but its corresponding Saka era is also given in that inscription. So you cannot throw away these two inscriptions which correspond accurately. Don't forget, we have hundreds of inscriptions in Cambodia, and most of the inscriptions give you exactly what is the Saka era. They always mention Saka era, and they correspond to what is found in the Aihole inscription. And so, Aihole inscription cannot be brushed aside. 3,101 BC is given there, but we have to find some more Purva Paksha to establish exactly that it is 3,100 BC. But the other one, just to throw away and say, no, we don't believe in 3,101, is not a scientific method of accepting 200 BC or 200 AD and so. Ramayana is 200 BC. What is Ramayana in 200 BC? It is recitation which has been going on of Ramayana all over India, and for nearly 2,000 years or more, even according to your own dating. And many additions of the Kathakars must have already got into it. All this we have to take into consideration and take it with reference to Lekya Pramana, written evidence. We cannot just simply say it's 11,500 BC, or like Sheldon Pollock, 201 BC. Then, friend, there was a very valuable talk by our friend, professor. The title itself is suggestive of Hinduism bad, Buddhism is good. This is the approach of, they neither know Hinduism nor Buddhism. That's how it looks like when they give that, when they write like that in their books. Both Buddhism and Hinduism are one. Anything that has been found here in India, if you don't want Hinduism, call it as Indianism. You don't call it as Hinduism. You call it Indianism. Buddhism is part of Hinduism. Hinduism is part of Buddhism. It's established throughout whole of Southeast Asia and in inscriptions and sculptures in India. So we are thankful to you. And the whole dharma that has been, I have already mentioned to you, whole dharma that is found in Taittiriya Upanishad has been practically adopted by Asoka. Even if you say about within 300 years, he gives the same words. Etat adesaha, etat upadesaha is the Upanishad. And you see in the end of Asoka's inscription, same etad adesaha, etad upadesaha, he says. So, and he says this is Paurani Prakriti, already existing system that I am telling you. The earlier kings were not able to fulfill it. I am now trying and appointing Mahamatra to fulfill it, says Asoka. So it is an ancient tradition which has been incorporated in Buddhism. And just as we have differences in between Vaishnavism and Saivism and Shaktism, and even last paper, they refer to this Nastika. Even Nastikas were there. In Kathopanishad, he says, Asti ticheke, Nayam asti tichananye. Some people say there nothing exists after death. And some people say something exists after death. Tell me what is truth. Then Yama tells Nachiketas, it's very difficult to understand. So even as early as Taittiriya Upanishad, this Nastika system was there. And Astika system was also there. And finally, last, there is good discussion on yajna. What is yajna? Yajna comes from the word yaj, to adore, to worship. Yajna is worshipping, adoration. When you offer something in the fire, you invoke the presence of God, reciting the mantra. Mantra is mananat trayateti mantraha. Mind, that which is uttered by mind, that you offer it, giving a poetic imagery, and to that you offer adoration. That is yajna. So friends, it was a very valuable session. I am thankful to the authorities for giving me this opportunity, and for all of you, wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
A fair amount of pottery, mud brick walls, and domesticated animal bones have been excavated at this site. How does one look at a piece of pottery and figure its age? How do we date these archaeological finds? Well, it's by using a scientific method known as carbon dating or radiocarbon dating. This is a difficult technique, but let us try and get a sense of how it works. There are many carbon atoms in our environment. The vast majority of these are C12, the stable isotope of carbon. However, cosmic radiation constantly collides with atoms in the upper atmosphere. When this happens, energetic neutrons are created that bombard nitrogen-14, which then turn into a carbon-14 atom and a hydrogen atom. These atoms are chemically the same as stable carbon, but have 2 extra neutrons. This carbon-14 is radioactive, with a half-life of about 5,700 years. Over time, these radiocarbon atoms decay into nitrogen atoms. This tendency to decay, called radioactivity, is what gives radiocarbon its name. Now, what happens when an organism dies? It stops absorbing the radioactive isotope and immediately starts decaying. Scientists know that the carbon-14 decays and becomes about half every 5,700 years. This means that if you had 100 pieces of carbon-14 in you and we waited for about 5,700 years, half of it would now be gone, leaving 50 pieces. After approximately 11,400 years, half of that would be gone, leaving 25 pieces. This process continues on and on. Of course, after a few thousand years, it gets tough to count how much there is. So many scientists say it probably would only work for 50,000 years. Radiocarbon dating is simply a measure of the level of carbon-14 isotope within the organic remains. It is important to note that this may give us approximate, not exact dates, as the amount of C14 isotopes in the atmosphere can vary.